to appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, for his promptness in taking decision immediately the incident happened. On that day, His Excellency traveled to the scene, addressed the household community. Many of them were apprehended, and they were taken to Abuja, where they were handed to the security agencies for further investigation.
All right, so those are the latest developments in the ongoing saga, the tragedy that took place in Uromi, Edo State.
Like I said yesterday, I condemn in its entirety that killing. It was needless and it was very, very sad. And the authorities must do everything to bring justice, because people do not deserve to be killed or to be maimed in such a way. But my question is to Governor Okpebolo today. Governor Okpebolo, you're quick to go to Kano. Yes, which is a good cause. But how about the people in Ikeke, in Uromi, that have been complaining of kidnap? When have you gone to see their family members? When have you gone to visit them? What have you done to bring them out of the kidnappers' den? Around Esan area, I got a message yesterday in Ikeke about somebody that says his mom was kidnapped. Have you gone to visit those families of those reeling from the scourge of the fact that the states that they trust for their security cannot provide security? What have you done to bring people out of the kidnappers' den? When the women went out to protest at first because of the scourge of kidnapping in Uromi, what did you do? Did you go visit the homes of these women and reassure them? People in Uromi that have been kidnapped, their lives too also matter in this country. Did you extend that hand to them? Your reassurances, did the government actually nip this crisis in the bud? So as you go to Kano, Governor Okpebolo, go to Uromi, go to Irua, go to Uboha, where they said they can hardly do anything, economic activities tampered with. Go to Ubiaja, go to Ikeke, where they just sent me a message that somebody was kidnapped the other day. Let it go across board. And the last point I'm going to make is, we need to stop the killings in this country. Just this morning I was watching and seeing on Daily Post that a community in Benue had been sacked. Killings and maimings. We need to stop this. We cannot build a country this way. And the government must try as much as possible to provide security in parts of Edo and all parts of the country, and Esan land in particular. These people are crying. I get messages every day from Esan people locally and in diaspora about how unsafe their homeland has become with the scourge of kidnappers and killings. Governor Okpebolo also visit Esan land. My commiserations to the family of those hunters killed and lost. Like he said he will pay compensation, and I totally condemn the killings of those people.
Well, I've written an extended essay on this subject today on the back page of this day newspaper, for which I'm a regular columnist, a weekly columnist every Tuesday. And the piece is titled Uromi 16 and the Problem with Nigeria. Now, I do not have any problems with Governor Okpebolo visiting Kano State. He did so in the context of the ethnic coloration that the tragedy last Friday in Uromi had been given, to the extent that, look, the persons who died, 25 of them were traveling, 16 of them were killed. Even after the matter had been reported to the police didn't do anything. And these persons were called Boko Haram terrorists and kidnappers. They were found with guns and dogs. And on account of that, the vigilante group moved against them and killed them. Now, we don't know the exact circumstances. Now, again, this shows you the issue about ethnic profiling, the issue about the freedom of movement in this country, the problem with the right to life under Section 33, the right to the dignity of the human person under Section 34 of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution, the right to be free from discrimination in under Section 42 of the Constitution, the right of freedom of movement under Section 44 of the Constitution. Those persons who were killed, their fundamental human rights were abridged, violated. The role of the police is another matter in this. The same police that got a report, what did the police do? And why has there been no follow-up, concrete action in defending the interests of these people? As we speak, the people of Urume, we're told, are fleeing their community because of the fear of reprisal killings. We have seen reprisal killings in Benue and other parts of the country. And so what the governor simply did was to visit Kano, visit the governor, visit the people, visit the affected families in the two affected major local governments in that state, to just say, well, the people of Edo State have nothing against the people of Kano State. We all know the story of the Civil War, how reprisal killings, inter-ethnic conflict, snowballed into the blowout and the Civil War of 1967 to 70. I think, we should support any effort by the leaders involved to try to manage the crisis. But the bigger problem is with the security situation in Nigeria, which in itself calls for an emergency response. Emergency not in terms of, removing elected representatives of the people, but emergency in terms of government taking a more critical look at the security architecture in the country, strengthening security at the state level, state police. I also argue that perhaps we need a national guard rather than the civilization, the abuse of the military in civilian circumstances, even if the Constitution says they can come in aid of civilian authorities. But what we are seeing is that even soldiers, apart from protecting territorial integrity of Nigeria, are now doing police work, all of them at checkpoints. So there are questions to be answered, to be asked. They said these persons from the north were found with guns and that they were hunters. Okay, how would somebody leave Kano State to go and hunt in River State with guns? I raise the question. Do they do fishing with guns or with nets? I don't know, not being a fisherman myself. I probably have no expertise in that direction. But there are many questions, that can be raised. But what is important is justice, is the fact that there should be no cover-up, and that no Nigerian should be subjected to the danger, to the death that is walking on stilts on Nigerian roads, where when you leave your house in the morning, you could not be sure whether you will return in the evening. As I've argued, again, Nigeria happened to the Urumi 16. Nigeria simply happened to them. And when Nigeria happens to you, it means that the state disappoints you, because the Nigerian state is in retreat. You may argue with that, but that is the truth. When the state disappoints you, either in terms of security or healthcare or education or in any aspect of life whatsoever, that is the reality, because the state has been captured by certain elements who are not focusing on the key issues. We commiserate with the orphans, the widows, the mothers who have lost their sons in the two local governments and other places in Kano State on account of Nigeria happening to the 25 travelers on their way to the north for the Eid celebrations last Friday at a place called Urume. Urume, ironically, an important community in Nigeria that produced two prominent persons, Pa Anthony Enahoro and his brother, Peter Enahoro, popularly known as Peter Pan. Men who believed in national stability, peace, and progress, only for their community to now be associated with a tragedy that will be remembered for the infamy of its occurrence.
I offer my condolences to the families and the loved ones of those departed, and a speedy recovery to those who are said to still be in hospital and those with injuries. And I commend the move by Governor Monday Okpebolo to offer an olive branch to Kano State. Symbolic. Of course, it does not bring the people back. It does not change what happened. But I think it's important. It's an important show of humility, especially when the embers are burning hot. The rhetoric is heating up. The videos circulating of threats of reprisal attacks and young men getting ready to... we don't need to go that far. So anything that can be done to temper down the emotions that are currently around is very important. So I do commend that, and I do hope that the people of Kano State and all those who feel emotionally impacted, because everybody is in a way emotionally impacted by this, I do pray that everybody is able to come to accept this gesture by the governor and to be able to look for ways to seek solutions, constructive solutions. Now, when we look at what transpired here, the only thing that comes to mind is institutional failure. If an alarm were to go off or a red light or a red flag were to fly to show that there is institutional failure, there's no stronger mark of it than this. On all sides. Even if you speak of those who are talking of reprisal attacks and so forth, it's because they feel that the system does not stand for them, that justice will not be served. And these are the origins of mob justice. Think of the Alu 4. Think of the Jos killings that took place in 2021. Over 20 people killed because of mob justice. There's several incidents in the same Edo State. Just last year, I believe 2 policemen were killed. Mob justice. So there's a psychology of mob justice that has now become prevalent in society. And what does it point to? It points to institutional failure.
Assalamu alaikum, Baba. Wato masu kallo za su so su ji wato me yake faruwa da saboda kana ɗaya daga cikin waɗanda iftila'i ya kwaɗa masu a cikin wannan gari na Oromi. Wani bayani za ka yi muna da farko dai me sunanka? Daga wace karamar hukuma arewa kuma wace jiha?
Bunkure jihar Kano.
Bunkure jihar Kano. To madalla, to me ya faru a cikin wannan tafiya taku aka samu na tsaniya?
Ita wannan tafiya ta mu da mutum da kwata da fita kwan. Sai tafiya mu samu wata matsalar komai ba. Sai da muka zo Oromi muka samu matsala. Yan majalisa suka tare mu. Dan ina ga mota. Sai sai shi direba ya sauko bai sauko ba. Za ta yi sai ya sauko bai sauko ba. Su dan majalisin din mace ta tara duka da manje da bulada. Shikenan mu dai ni ina kwaikwar sa zaune. Sai na saba sai suka ce na saba su sauko. Na ce to me ya faru kuma? Ni dai ban ce kuma ba. Shikenan muna sai suka kawo saukowa. Mutanen da suna saukowa suna dukansu, suna saukowa suna dukansu. Sai suka tara su guri ɗaya. Kawai suka kama dukansu aka. Majalisin din.
To daga bugu kawai shi kenan daga saukowa sai bugu an ce sun yi muku bincike ɗaya bayan ɗaya. Ya gaskiyar magana take an kama ku da wani abu ne cikin binciken da suke yi?
Duk wani bincike da aka yi ba kama da komai ba da cikin binciken.
Amma ai binciken?
Bayan sun kori jama'a. Da mutum ya hau da bindiga su da wuka ina yanka kayayyakin mai ina duba. Yanka kayan mai duba ya gaba kuma shi. Yanka kayan mai duba ya gaba kuma shi. Yanka kayan mai duba ba kuma daga kwakwa. Sai tsomo kada mu sai manja sai suka gaban daga wajen suka ce mu yan boko haram ne yan kidafin to yan kidafin ya to da kare tun daga fita kwa ito Kano
ba zai yiwu ba.
Kenan bindigogin da sun ha gani irin na maharba ne.
Bindigogin duk na maharba ne.
To bindigar tana da lasin?
Duk tana da takardunsu da komai.
To madalla.
To da takardun namu da suna jikin kayan sun ɗauko suna wasu sun karɓe sun.
To gaba ɗaya ku nawa ne a cikin wannan mota?
A cikin mota da mu 27 ne.
Ko 27. To an ce wasu rayukan sun salwanta ko ka san adadin mutanen ko nawa ne?
Wallahi wanda suka salwanta ban san adadin su ba.
Yanzu ku nawa ne a raye?
Yanzu mu gani da a raye.
Cikin ku nawa kenan?
A cikin mu 27.
Ba a ga mutum 22 ba kenan.
To akwai wayanda suke asibiti ne ko kuma babu wasu wayanda suke asibiti?
An ce da mutum biya asibiti.
Bakwai kenan.
To amma yanzu dai mutum 20 dai sun kai misin ba a san da suke ba. To daga ƙarshe kacce me sunanka?
Yau ya haya.
Ya'u. Yake da yabu ya haya. Daga Kano ko? Ƙaramar hukumar Bunkure. To mun gode.